showing you more. Look, where is Catherine? Why isn't she here with us?
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel where the complex dance of royalty and diplomacy always take a center stage. We're about to enter a moment that has left viewers around the world in disbelief. Palace insiders in a frenzy, and even the most stoic onlookers grabbing for their tea. The freshness of freshly mowed grass and the muted smell of old books permeated the air on a sunny afternoon at Windsor Castle. As graceful and composed as usual, First Lady Melania Trump and Queen Camilla are strolling through the Royal Library's sacred corridors. It's supposed to be a serene tour of artifacts from bygone eras, a vision of flawless international harmony. But then Melania turns to her royal host and asks the question no one anticipated in a quiet yet sharp voice. "Queen Catherine, where are you?" The words linger there, seemingly straightforward but packed with meaning. It seems like the room is getting smaller. A little tremor in royal procedure is abruptly felt on the shelves of leather-bound books. Like wildfire, whispers go viral on social media. The absence of one lady abruptly becomes the presence that controls everything as headlines break. This is more than a casual remark or courteous question. It is enlightening and a silent confirmation of Catherine's indisputable position at the center of the kingdom. If you're as fascinated by royal intrigue as I am, press the like button and subscribe to remain up to date on every palace turn before we break down the layers of this fascinating interaction. Let's take a look back at the dazzling prelude that created the mood for this day that will never be forgotten. In mid-October 2025, President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania made a successful return to the United Kingdom with a state visit. After years of tumultuous headlines, a bridge was rebuilt over the Atlantic. Windsor Castle's doors were thrown open by King Charles III and Queen Camilla, who laid out the red carpet for 2 days of opulence, grandeur, and secret discussions that would forge relationships for years to come. Every element exuded heritage with a dash of contemporary flair. From the state luncheon held under crystal chandeliers to the ceremonial inspections conducted on the castle grounds. In addition to being the president's girlfriend, Melania, who always exudes elegance in her fitted clothing, also showed up as a silent force. Her Slovenian background and multilingual appeal make her a perfect fit for these storied ceremonies. As someone who has spent decades navigating the royal seas, Queen Camilla stepped effortlessly into her role and hosted with affection. Their discussions on women's initiatives, visits to community projects, their combined engagements with a soft power play of the trip. And yes, that private tours of the Royal Library, a haven of knowledge where queens have considered the weight of crowns. However, beneath the curtsies and smiles, there were currents of curiosity. The Princess of Wales, Catherine, had been a mainstay at previous welcomes, attracting attention and reducing tensions with her dazzling presence. Why, therefore, was she absent from this sacred space of royal history? Melania's query was not an isolated incident. It mirrored the feelings of millions of people who see Catherine not only as a princess but also as the future incarnation of the throne. A future queen whose every action sets the public's heart. The air became less professional and even conspiratorial when the two women entered the library. Towering oak shelves creaked under the weight of first editions, ornate manuscripts, and letters penned by monarchs long gone. Drawing on her own love of books, Camilla started telling Melania about the treasures in the collection, including a Shakespeare folio that had once been on Queen Elizabeth III's table and intricate maps showing the empire's territory. Melania listened carefully, nodding thoughtfully and glancing around the room. With the astute observation of someone who has hosted foreign leaders herself, it was an authentic moment of bonding. Away from the spotlight, two women were united by the implicit expectations of their roles. Melania's eyes, however, lingered on a literal and symbolic empty space next to them as they stopped in front of a display of illuminated prayer books. She said, "It's such a magnificent place," with a genuineness that came from her Eastern European accent. "I was hoping to see Queen Catherine here. Where is she today?" Camilla said quietly, but her momentary silence said more than words could. Her expression briefly changed to one of surprise, but it was soon covered by a kind grin. "Oh, Catherine is resting today, focusing on her family," was the unblemished response. However, the air crackled during that conversation. Melania didn't ask an accusing question. It came naturally, a tribute to the lady whose courage and grace have come to represent the royal brand. Suddenly, a routine tour turned into a landmark, a moment that would have a cascading effect, confirming Catherine's importance in a manner that no formal declaration could. we must zoom out to the larger picture of this state visit, where every gesture held the weight of headlines and history. In order to fully comprehend the gravity of Melaniascary, Windsor put on the best show possible when President Trump arrived on September 16th. Guards in scarlet tunics, a 21-gun salute echoing off the castle walls, and a flypast that painted the sky in red, white, and blue, while Queen Camilla was enchanted with tales from her philanthropist. King Charles, ever the diplomat, greeted his guest with a strong handshake and promises of renewed friendship. Melania captured hearts right away with her subtle interactions after getting off Air Force One in a cream silk dress that exuded classic elegance. In a subtle nod to Melania's own best project, she accompanied Camilla to a scouting session in the morning, where kids from various backgrounds showcased their handcrafted crafts. As the two women stooped to examine a particularly elaborate birdhouse, laughter erupted. Their dedication to helping young people overcome political differences. The party had relocated to the castle grounds by the afternoon for a tree planting ceremony that represented the strengthening of connections between the US and the UK. Here, a vision in gentle blue, Catherine appeared, trading cordial greetings with Melania that suggested respect for one another based on previous interactions. "It's wonderful to see you again," Catherine said, her smile genuine, her hand lightly touching Melania's arm. The moment was captured in dozens of photographs, fueling speculation that this visit might mend old rifts from Trump's first term. But as the day wore on, subtle shifts emerged. Catherine, fresh from her own health journey, had been selective with her schedule, prioritizing engagements that aligned with her recovery and family needs. Her presence at the welcome was deliberate, a show of unity, but the more intimate library tour was reserved for Camilla and Melania, a nod to the Queen Consort's literary passions. Insiders later revealed that the itinerary was crafted with Catherine's input, ensuring she could contribute without overextending. Yet, in the library's hushed confines, her absence loomed larger than intended. Melania, who had bonded with Catherine during a brief sidebar at the tree planting, naturally expected her there. Their earlier chat had touched on everything from parenting pressures to the art of public resilience, topics that resonated deeply with both women shaped by scrutiny. Catherine understands the balance, Melania confided to her aide afterward, according to sources close to the delegation. So when the tours unfolded without her, the question bubbled up organically. A bridge extended across an empty chair. Camilla, caught off guard, responded with poise, steering the conversation back to a nearby exhibit of Victorian novels. But the seed was planted. Social media ignited almost immediately, with users poring over footage from the event, dissecting body language and timelines. Melania calling her Queen Catherine iconic, one viral post declared, racking up thousands of likes. Another quipped, "Camilla's face said it all. Kate's the real star." This wasn't mere gossip. It tapped into a deeper narrative. Catherine's health battle, announced earlier in the year, had gripped the world. Her January 2025 update from the Royal Marsden Hospital sharing that she was in remission after chemotherapy was a masterclass in vulnerability and strength. "I am learning to be patient, especially with uncertainty," she wrote in a heartfelt message accompanied by photos of her with Prince William and their children. The public response was overwhelming. Cards flooded the palace. Support poured in from every corner. By September, Catherine was easing back into duties. Her appearances were measured but meaningful. The state visit offered a platform to showcase her progress. Yet, her selective participation sparked whispers. Was it fatigue, family priorities, or a strategic reminder of her irreplaceable role? Melania's query cut through the noise, voicing what many felt: Catherine isn't just a participant, she's the gravitational center. In a monarchy navigating change, her absence in that library wasn't a slight, it was a spotlight on her enduring pull. As the tour continued, Camilla deftly highlighted a rare Jane Austen manuscript, but the undercurrent lingered, setting the stage for reactions that would affirm Catherine's position louder than any crown jewel. Delve deeper into that fateful tour, and you'll find a setting straight out of a historical drama where every corner whispers secrets of power and patronage. The Royal Library at Windsor isn't just a repository, it's a living chronicle, home to over 300,000 volumes that have influenced monarchs from Henry VIII to the present day. For this visit, curators had prepared a special exhibition tied to Anglo-American relations. Letters from George III to colonial envoys, early editions of works by Washington Irving, and even a bound volume of diplomatic dispatches from the Revolutionary War era. Camilla, a voracious reader with her own book club pedigree, led the way with infectious enthusiasm. "This place has seen more plots than a Shakespeare play," she quipped, drawing a light laugh from Melania. The First Lady, whose own White House years included quiet evenings with biographies, engaged fully, tracing fingers over protective glass cases and asking pointed questions about preservation techniques. It was a respite from the visit's heavier elements, a chance for two women to connect over shared intellectual ground. Yet, as they moved from the main gallery to a side alcove featuring illuminated manuscripts, the conversation turned personal. Melania, reflecting on her time in the East Wing, shared stories of hosting literary figures and the solace found in books during turbulent times. Camilla nodded, recounting her own escapes into fiction amid royal whirlwinds. The rapport was palpable, a rare unscripted flow in an otherwise choreographed day. Then came Thepovic. Standing before a display of royal portraits, Melania glanced around, her expression one of mild puzzlement. I enjoyed speaking with Catherine earlier. Such a warm soul. Where is Queen Catherine today? The phrasing wasn't accidental. In diplomatic circles, future queens are often addressed with anticipatory titles, a subtle bow to destiny. Camilla's response was textbook graciousness. A gentle explanation of Catherine's focus on restorative duties laced with praise for her dedication. But observers noted the Queen's hand tightening briefly on her handbag, a telltale sign of navigating uncharted emotional waters. Melania, sensing the shift, smoothed it over with a compliment on the exhibition's thoughtfulness. But the moment had etched itself into memory. What made this exchange so charged was its authenticity amid artifice. Palace sources speaking anonymously described the tour as intimate by design, meant to foster genuine bonds away from press packs. Melania's questions stemmed from admiration, not an agenda. She and Catherine had crossed paths at international summits before, their interactions marked by mutual empathy for the roles they play. Melania sees in Catherine a kindred spirit, one U.S. official shared. Recalling how the First Lady had praised the princess's handling of her cancer diagnosis as a lesson in quiet courage, Camilla, for her part, has long championed Catherine's centrality, often crediting her with injecting fresh energy into the firm. Yet in Thatalcove, the query highlighted a generation alliance, Camilla as the bridge to perdition, Catherine as the beacon of tomorrow. The shock waves began subtly with aides exchanging glances, then escalated as snippets leaked to the press pool outside. By evening, outlets were framing it as a diplomatic or heartfelt homage, depending on the spin, but peel back the layers and it's clear this was no error. It was a mirror reflecting Catherine's affirmed stature in a world that craves her presence. No sooner had the library doors closed than the moment began its viral ascent, transforming a private aside into a public phenomenon. Staffers bound by discretion held their tongues at first, but in the age of ever-present smartphones and whispered briefings, containment was futile. Within hours, X lit up with grainy clips from the tour's perimeter, users magnifying audio and lip-reading with forensic zeal. Did Melania just call Kate Queen and Camilla's face? Priceless, tweeted one influencer, her post amassing over 50,000 engagements by dusk. Hashtags like hashtag Where is Catherine and hashtag Queen Kate surged, blending humor with heartfelt support. Traditional media piled on. The Sun splashed Melania's mystery query stuns Camilla across its front page, while CNN dissected it as a nod to the Windsor's future. Across the pond, American outlets framed it through a lens of transatlantic fondness, with Fox News calling it the compliment that crowned Kate early. The shock wasn't just it was in the context. Catherine's absence from the tour, while planned, amplified the void. Earlier that day, she had shown at the outdoor welcomes, her laughter mingling with Melania's as they discussed school runs and sustainable fashion. Catherine brings light wherever she goes. Melania later told reporters, her praise was unprompted and effusive. For many, her stepping back from the library felt like a puzzle piece missing from a masterpiece. Royal watchers, still raw from her health ordeal, read into it layers of concern and conspiracy. Forums buzzed with theories. Was it a health dip? A deliberate space for Camilla to bond? Or, more optimistically, a sign of Catherine's empowered choices? The query from Melania cut through the speculation like a clarion call, voicing the collective ache for her visibility. It shocked because it humanized the royals, reminding us that even first ladies wonder about the figures who captivate us. Public reaction skewed overwhelmingly positive toward Catherine, with polls showing 78% viewing her as the monarchy's most trusted face. Detractors were few, mostly grumbling about protocol breaches, but they drowned in a sea of affirmation. Celebrities chimed in. Oprah Winfrey posted a throwback photo of Catherine at a charity event, captioning it, "The Queen we need always," even in political circles. It landed as a soft power win, highlighting the soft underbelly of hard diplomacy. Camilla, far from offended, emerged unscathed. Her quick recovery in the tour's flow was praised as queenly finesse. But the real victor was Catherine, whose position was etched deeper into the global psyche. This wasn't erosion, it was elevation. A shock that solidified her as indispensable, to grasp why Catherine's absence resonated so profoundly. We must enter her orbit, a realm where duty dances with the deeply personal. The Princess of Wales has always been a study in balance, her life a tapestry woven from public service and private sanctuary, since her cancer diagnosis rocked the world in early 2024. Followed by that Romarch announcement video, Catherine has navigated recovery with a grace that inspires legions. By September 2025, remission was official, but the scars lingered. The fatigue that sneaks up unannounced. The need for rhythms that honor healing. "I'm taking each day as it comes," she shared in a September 9th Instagram update, a frank post depicting her with George, Charlotte, and Louis amid fall leaves. It was classic Catherine, vulnerable yet vibrant, inviting empathy without pity. Her decision to skip the library tour was no whim, it was wisdom incarnate. Advisor and family consultations shaped a schedule that maximized impact while minimizing strain. The outdoor elements of the visit allowed for fresh air and flexibility, perfect for her post-treatment energy levels. The library, with its enclosed intimacy and hours of standing, was wisely deferred. Catherine knows her limits now, and that's her power, an insider confided. Echoing sentiments from her Marsden visit in January, there, surrounded by staff who had walked her through chemo, she spoke of rebuilding not just body but spirit. Melania's question then wasn't prying. It was poignant, born from shared understanding of lives under glass. The First Lottie, who endured her own media storms, recognized the toll. Their earlier exchange at the tree planting had delved into this. Catherine admitted the small moments of joy with her children were her anchor. Melania nodding with tales of Baron's quiet enthusiasms. This privacy is its reclamation. Catherine and William have long prioritized a normal family life. From Adelaide Cottage's cozy confines to school drop-offs at Lamra, the state visit tested that equilibrium, but she emerged stronger. Her selective epicene is a statement of agency. Sources close to the couple reveal late-night talks where they weighed every invite against family rhythms. "It's about showing up as the best version of ourselves." William reportedly said his protectiveness was a shield honed by their shared trials. Grief from losing Queen Elizabeth, health scares, and relentless scrutiny all forged this resolve. Melania's query affirmed it, shocking observers into seeing Catherine not as fragile but as formidable. Her position is rock solid, a future queen charting her path with intention. If shock was the spark, affirmation was the flame that followed, illuminating Catherine's pivotal role in the royal firmament. Melania's words, innocent yet incisive, acted as a global endorsement, cutting through palace veils to declare what many sensed. Catherine is the monarchy's North Star. In the hours after the tour, Clarence House issued a subtle statement, praising the warm exchanges and hinting at future collaborations. But it was the organic outpouring that truly crowned her. Fan accounts flooded with montages of her greatest hits, the trooping, the color wave, the hospital visits post-diagnosis, the Christmas carol service that brought tears to millions. Melania gets it. "Kate is our queen," one a devotee posted. Her thread went viral with endorsements from across demographics. Insiders paint a picture of quiet celebration within the family. William, ever her steadfast ally, reportedly chuckled over dinner that night, toasting to the question that answered everything. King Charles, attuned to optics, saw it as validation of his vision, a slimmed-down relatable monarchy with Catherine at its empathetic core. Camilla too, embraced the moment, later confiding to friends that it highlighted our greatest asset. Her gesture during a later awkward exchange where she seemed to usher Catherine aside amid Melania's enthusiasm was misconstrued online but clarified as mere spatial courtesy amid arriving carriages. Far from rivalry, it underscored unity. Camilla's experience semblance, Catherine's youth. This affirmation extends beyond sentiment. Polling data post-visit showed Catherine's approval at 85%, a bump attributed directly to the query's ripple. It signaled to younger generations that the crown can be compassionate and modern. For Catherine, it's personal vindication after months of shaken moments from health speculation. This was her position etched in diplomatic gold. Melania's shock value. A gift reminding the world why Catherine commands such loyalty. Zoom out further, and Melania's question becomes a lens on the evolving monarchy, where tradition bends to meet today's truths. The Windsors have weathered storms from abdications to exiles. But Catherine's era promises adaptation, family first, and transparency as armor. Her absence in the library wasn't weakness. It modeled boundaries. A queen in waiting who chooses presence over performance. William's support amplifies this. Their partnership is a blueprint for duty without drudgery. They're redefining what royal means. A former courtier observed, noting how Catherine's cancer journey humanized the institution, boosting relevance amid diplomatically it strengthened ties. Trump's visit, fraught with potential pitfalls, softened through these personal touches. Melania's query bridged cultures. Her respect for Catherine echoes American admiration for resilient women. Camilla, hosting, blending gravitas with warmth, affirmed her role as consort extraordinaire. Together, they showcased a firm that's flexible and inclusive, yet challenges linger. Health vigilance for Catherine, balancing global spotlights with home life. Insiders hint at upcoming projects where she lead. From mental health forums to environmental pushes, each affirming her vision. This moment shocks because it reveals vulnerability as strength. Catherine's position, affirmed so publicly, invites us to rethink royalty. Less distant, more like us, yet aspirationally grand. As the dust settles on Windsor's grand welcome, Melania's whispered wonder lingers as a defining echo, a testament to Catherine's magnetic pull. From librarials to living rooms, worldwide, it sparked conversations on empathy, endurance, and the quiet power of questions asked in earnest. For the Princess of Wales, it's more than affirmation. It's armor for the road ahead, where she continue weaving duty with delight. Her family, her compass, William by her side, children grounding her steps. She'll navigate with that signature poise, turning trials into triumphs. What does this mean for the monarchy's tomorrow? A leaner, brighter institution. Catherine's influence enters, it resonates in a skeptical age. And for us watchers, a reminder to cherish these glimpses behind the curtain. So, tell me in the comments, did Melania's question surprise you, or was it the perfect nod to Catherine's queenly essence? Do you think it heralds a warmer, wiser, royal era? Drop your thoughts below. Like if this dive hooked you, share with your fellow enthusiasts and subscribe for more unmissable insights. Until next time, keep watching.